Have a copyright? I'll lead your fight. Hi, I'm Dick Leibowitz, and I'm a YouTube lawyer. Is there a social movement you don't approve of? Tired of cancel culture? For the low cost of $20, I'll read your message out to my fans. Want to go the extra mile? Donate $50 to my Patreon for a personal 3-minute Skype call. I specialize in OnlyFans analysis and making bold predictions way outside my area of expertise. Call now at 1-800-GO-G-RIFT. That's 1-800-GO-G-RIFT. Call now and help get started getting Nick Cannon his job back. We all know that the Kick Nick movement was unfair, and with your help, we can save the career of a good man. I'm Dick Leibowitz. Let's save the world.
Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over to the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
UNATCO?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience, and their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Among other things, but I must admit that I have been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. Necessarily, primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon, orderly. UH. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon, that city will be a reality, and we will crown its king.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to midnight in the morning. It is September 8th, 2020. It's been a minute, everybody. Welcome. Now, let me just be honest with you for a second, because that implies I'm not honest with you all the time, but let me be real straightforward. Let me hit you with it point blank, so to speak. A lot of these topics are just a bunch of things I came across the last few days, set aside, and decided, fuck it, let's use this as an excuse to get rid of these tabs so I don't have to keep looking at these stupid-ass news stories. So this is mostly for my own sanity as much as it is to provide you with something to watch, because nobody has been doing shit lately. It has been a boring-ass week. Fortunately, I've had other things to do, which... Speaking of which, the Midnight Crockpot with Davey Crocko will be a little delayed, as some of you might have noticed. We didn't go live on Sunday. I had to work late that day, and then I worked yesterday, even though it was my typically my day off. So, yeah, we'll probably go live a little bit later tonight. I forgot. Okay, so the chatbot is working. Free cheeseburger bite. I mean, did you guys get a free cheeseburger bite? I mean, listen here, $1,000 a week. It's $1,000 a week, but free cheeseburger bite's free cheeseburger bite. Okay. Anyway, you can find yourself over on the Crockpot on that channel right there. When did I become an anti-Trump libcuck? I am not a liberal. I think Trump has displayed himself to be impotent. Let me just give you a taste of it. I've said this before on the show, but I'll say it again. What has he done that's tangibly made our lives better? Has he fulfilled any of the promises? He's a politician at the end of the day. Don't place your faith in these people. He's an entertaining figure. I'll give him that. I enjoy his appearance into the politosphere, but I've always dreamed of the great BBW, the big beautiful wall. Chinese wall seen from outer space. I want mine seen from the fucking sun, right from the middle of the goddamn solar system. I want this thing so massive and so obnoxiously large that it throws off the Earth's orbit. That's a kind of wall I'm looking for. And this motherfucker throws up like what, a barrier fence? It's a barrier or whatever. You know, it's just, now we're just gonna put a fence there. No, fuck that. You know, he couldn't even deliver on the wall. And I know some people say, well, hey, look, there's wall footage. No, but we don't have the wall. I can't go down there and check out the wall. You know, at the end of the day, he spent more time bitching and moaning consistently, long after the fact has been established, that the media is unfair to him. Well, no shit, it's been 4 years, my dude. I've been watching. I know they're unfair to you. And when it comes to all of this shit with riots in the streets and allowing it to go on so he'll get reelected, fuck him, dude. Don't place your... this is just me being completely honest. This is how I feel. Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck the Republicans that allow this to go on. Fuck monitoring social... I'm monitoring the censorship on social media as he allows it to get worse and worse leading up to the election that he's so worried about. The whole thing's a fucking joke. So it's hard to place any legitimate emotional investment in whether or not red team or blue team actually wins. Because at the end of the day, they all work pretty diligently to screw us over, right? The only thing they can argue about are what rights we get to have. You know, or what things are going to argue about next. But, when we go to work, we have to wear the fucking muzzle, right? That's something they all agree we have to wear. So whether or not red team wins or blue team wins, we're still fucked. So pardon me if I'm being cynical here. If some of you guys really do believe your life will improve if only you had a little bit more Republican voters, let me tell you, place I came from, place I currently am, overwhelmingly conservative. Overwhelmingly conservative. But it doesn't fucking matter. Because these people are going to do what they want to do, whether or not they get the votes to do it. They'll find a way to justify it. Look what's going on in San Francisco right now with Senator Scott Wiener. Scott Wiener, the same guy that made it a misdemeanor now to intentionally, that's in the law, by the way, intentionally transmitting HIV. This is a misdemeanor now. Because the gay community, in order to make their lives easier, which really speaks volumes about what he believes the gay community to be, at least, that they need to spread a life-ending disease, but meanwhile we have to wear fucking muzzles because somebody might get a goddamn cough, right? And now this dude that looks like he's on the verge of death. If you looked at pictures of this guy, he looks like he's seconds away from just keeling over and dying. Now, instead of all of our lives are in complete shambles. We're completely fucked. But he's making it so that way the gay community can still prey on children. It's a new thing they're coming up with. Look it up. We've brought it up before on the show. I don't have it ready. But it's real. It's outrageous. The very fact that shit like that can go on and there aren't people in the streets burning shops down over that is beyond me. Meanwhile, if any person, right, any person justifiably gets murdered by police, even in a situation where they pull out a gun, they'll burn down shops. Yesterday, right? I read an article yesterday. What a monologue, right? This is just a ramble, really. Lord knows I was born a rambling man. But yesterday, there was a shop, black-owned shop with a "We Support Black Lives Matter" sign out on the front. of their shop. Now, what do you think happened, chat? Between you, me, and the wall, what do you think happened to that shop? Well, would it surprise you that a bunch of Black Lives Matter peaceful protesters just burned that shit to the ground? Did not give a fuck. Accelerationism is right, and it's hard to feel any sympathy for anybody involved anymore. If you go out there in the streets to agitate and to put yourself in the situation, you're painting a target on yourself, and you should know better. Further agitation, especially at this point, you have nothing to gain and everything to lose. And what you should always consider is, how much do I stand to gain versus how much do I stand to lose? And, if you really do think that Antifa needs to be confronted, if these people need to be confronted, really consider what's going to happen if you confront them. If you don't get murdered, if you manage to protect yourself, what's going to happen? The rules aren't equally applied to you. And then, suppose you become this great, the Kyle Rittenhouse, the next great hero of social media for 5 minutes. At the end of the day, what does it do to make lives better? Or this whole situation to alleviate tensions? It does nothing but accelerate things further, and here's what's going to happen, chat, at least in my opinion. It's going to provoke the very government we are very critical of to become more draconian, to clamp down, become more fascist in ways that none of you would ever want. You see the type of shit they're good at doing. Sending our money to pharmaceutical companies and corporations, faceless bureaucrats in other nations, but meanwhile we get the fucking shaft. There's no amount of rioting in the streets or burning down shops that's going to change that. So don't put yourself in a situation where you can only find yourself in tragedy and you have nothing to gain. On top of that, you have everything to lose and nothing to gain. And then your family will have one less member. Think about how they'll feel. This political bullshit, it's all bullshit, and none of us here stand to gain anything from it. Because even if the red team wins, we just saw the first 2 years of Trump's administration, we saw what happens when you have a Republican majority of the Congress and the Senate. They didn't get jack shit done. And when it comes down to it, you guys saw firsthand how long it took them to pay out the medical insurance for the 9/11 first responders. If there's any motherfucker that should have had that shit paid day one, it should have been them. I don't really know what else I have to say, but if that's how they treat the 9/11 first responders, what do you think they think about us? I'm wondering right now, is this the wrong show? Did I fire up the wrong, did I put the right stream key in? It's not Sunday down by the docks, The only thing conservatives is real. Well, they do really love that nation more than this one, apparently. And that's what's so frustrating about it. So when the dust is finally settled, when everything has finally come to a head, if the Republicans win, everything will be exactly the fucking same. And if the Democrats win, yeah, things will probably get worse. Does that mean I'm going to be all full of piss and vinegar because Trump lost and now we have a different fucking weirdo? And yeah, actually I would be a little bit more outright, just ever so slightly, because Biden, it makes my skin crawl. I consider him to be a predator. I've seen enough to where I'm convinced maybe that shit with him sniffing kids' hair and just being an overall dirtbag, maybe that is all fake news. Maybe there is a secret Russian hacker furiously slamming his keyboard to make deep fakes of this guy telling this chick he's horny being next to her because she's so young. You guys have seen the clip. I won't bring it up. And it's infuriating. So, yeah, on a different note, I do have something like, if I could ballpark it, like 15 links here. A few stories. Some of these we'll probably talk about later tonight with Davey. Man, I talked for a minute, right? That was it. See, that's a nice, genuine monologue. It wasn't Biden who flew on the Lolita Express, though. Touche. Although, was Trump ever on the Lolita Express? I am not 100% on that, so... Alright. Just need a little something. But I wanted to read this real quick so I can... so we can move on. We had Radio Ruin with $4.99. Voting is a joke that only serves to legitimize an illegitimate system. Vote with your wallet and buy guns. Fucking amen, brother. Preach. I co-sign that 100%. I don't know what's co-sign. And then we also had Jordan Scott Mills. Dude, it's been a minute. With Buck. When are you gonna stop? When are you gonna stop being well, I believe the word is F-slur, but I prefer the word rainbow person. It just sounds so nice, doesn't it? Work on the slopes for the winter. Servers here clear $1,500 a week, easy. Because it's full time. Full stop, man. Stop half sending it and come up here to party and make cash. Know my email. Yeah, man. Shit keeps going this way. I mean, it's good to have options, man. I appreciate that, and I will consider it as an option. I do want to change it up a little bit, but I've been learning a whole lot lately. This new place I've been working, I've had room to grow, and so I like where I'm at now, but I'm not going to be there forever. The soundboard. Yeah, somebody said bring back the soundboard. It should be running at the moment. Here, let me see if we got it. Okay, so here's the thing. It's the points. So just being here, you'll get points. Here's the idea, folks. I like to give you guys fake money to give you emotional investment on showing up further. It's completely... Is it too quiet? I'll turn it up a bit. The points do mean something, and that you can cash them out for short dopamine releases. Anyway, I think we've been on that for a minute, so what else has been going down before we get into these mundane news topics? I mean, some of them are pretty funny, I'll admit. Somebody asked if I'd seen the Godwinson Mr. and Mrs. Vickers stream last night. I caught part of it. So I couldn't give you a full-fledged opinion. But I did see that, and the part I tuned into, I think, was probably one of the more talked about segments where Mrs. Vickers teared up and broke my goddamn heart. It was some heavy shit, man. It went from being funny. It's kind of been funny. I remember a while back, Matthew Vickers saying on Twitter the reason he didn't want to talk about Godwinson or talk to Godwinson and PPP is because they're entertainers, they're making it a joke, but this is his life. It's not so funny to them. I understand that now. I get it. Like, after hearing that interview, I understood what he meant. And it's a little more... Maybe that's how Ethan Ralph sees this. I'm not saying that he's the good guy in this situation, right? But now I see a little bit why it's not fun and games for him either. Doesn't justify all the shit that's happened lately, but I'm trying to see this from a different perspective, even his. But that having been said, that was a really heartbreaking thing to listen to. Oh yeah, propaganda, absolutely. What was it Red Bar said? And you could... by the way, I caught a little bit of the kill stream via Phantom Organization. And, what was it? The Dick Masterson Warski debate on Lolly? And there was a moment where Dick Masterson mentioned being called the sewers of the internet by Red Bar Radio. I mean, it was an allusion, a reference, right? Sounded like it might have stung a little. That was my impression. Play the interview. It is a 2-hour long interview. Fuck no, buddy. But fuck, what else? I've just been playing a little bit of the old video games lately. And even I'm thinking to myself a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 2. Some Metroidvania game I can't remember the name of. I played about 2 hours of Final Fantasy VII, classic one, earlier this morning. But yeah, other than that, just been hanging out, working. Can you play Mario 64 on stream? I wouldn't be... I love Mario 64, but if I was going to play something on stream, I'd probably go with Deus Ex, which I played a little bit of. I installed it, and then I had to reinstall Windows. But, yeah, that could be fun. Anyway, so... Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 was a warning. Yeah, it really seems like it, right? So, with all of that out of the way, let's get into our first topic here. This is not the archived version of the article, so just give me a minute. Yeah, it seems like maybe the points are incredibly skewed. I don't know what's going on about it, but yeah, well, I'll work out the kinks a little bit later if it continues to not work.
I just got a free cheeseburger bite in there. I just picked it up and ate it.
So yeah, it works for me, but I don't know, chat. I want chat to be my gator, you know? They need to be able to hit that soundboard. Yeah, so when I reinstalled Windows, it wiped everybody's points. What can you do? Good thing I don't run a bank, huh? There we go. You should take random calls again. I've considered doing that for maybe a segment of the show, like a 20-minute bit where people just come in casually, because, you know, we have a humble show here. We don't have a whole lot of people coming in, but it'd be just enough, I think, that we'd be probably able to bring in a few people if they wanted to come in. Let's see. Somebody just sent me this. Stephen McIntyre. New article in Journal published by Cambridge University Press says that testimony to House Oversight Committee, what's up, in March 2020 mixed up case fatality rate and infection fatality rate for influenza, resulting in major error. Well, let's take a look then, huh? Okay, so this is a full paper. Well, give me. I guess that is a decent summary. Author Ronald Brown of University of Waterloo in Ontario said that the House committee was told that the estimated mortality was 10 times higher than seasonal influenza. This was prime argument for lockdown. Brown observed that New England Journal article just prior to House testimony had incorrectly said that CFR for seasonal influenza was 0.1%, whereas 0.1% is actually the value for IFR. Brown observed that the CFR and the IFR have different definitions in epidemiology and gives a lengthy exposition. Brown curiously didn't identify a person who, according to Brown, gave the wrong benchmark information on fatality rates for seasonal influenza to Congress, linking to C-SPAN in his footnotes. The expert who, according to Brown, made the 10 times error in testimony to Congress, by now well known to all of us, it was needless to say Anthony Fauci. The man with the furious pitch, the mean throwing arm. Just absolutely nothing likable about that guy. I just, you know, when you see Reddit start to worship somebody, you know immediately this guy's a piece of shit. but you still hear him out, and then you go, man, there is just nothing likable about this pretentious, condescending cunt. Just not a damn thing. I can't stand him. I feel like if he were to croak tomorrow, the world would be a better place. I don't have anything to back that up. I just have that feeling, like that intuition, that gut instinct. Anyway, you link the article there. And he goes quite into detail. We'll finish up on his summary here. A comment on CFR and or IFR as a concept. There was a large number of cases among both residents and staff in long-term care homes in Ontario. Fatality rate, presumably CFR for staff, was 0.3%, and for mostly frail and old residents, it was 30%. I would guess that there would be a higher conversion rate among LTC residents from infection to diagnosed cases than among healthy young people, so that IFR CFR ratio in subpopulation not necessarily is the same among an entire population. We now know that unwise policies on long-term care facilities in jurisdictions which were original North American exposure to COVID, especially New York, New Jersey, caused early CFR to be very, very high due to the concentration of cases among vulnerable due to Cuomo and Murphy policies. Damn. There you have it. Whoopsie, I guess is what they have to say about this. Our bad, absolutely our bad. We fucked that up. We're sorry. Good stuff. It was a clerical error, folks. Anyway, so who here likes Chinese? USC professor placed on leave for saying Chinese term nage, which affected black MBA students' mental health. Damn. Now, that's oppression, right? If only Martin Luther King, I am so sorry, excuse me. If only Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., if only the doctor was here today, he would see that oppression never stopped. It got probably worse than ever before. Institutionalized white supremacy. And it comes all the way from China. Can you fucking believe the audacity of these people trying to learn Chinese when there is a word in their language that, Yeah, exactly. Richard Spencer's over here. He's ruling the fucking world. He's having a good time. And meanwhile, this guy's out there just saying terrible things in Mandarin. You can't just teach people Mandarin. This language needs to get canceled. Period. Full stop.
I win. They fucking lose.
I thoroughly missed Richard Spencer. It was great because I got to experience chat in just 1 or 2 seconds. It's like, man, I missed Richard Spencer. And then I go, oh, but I did not miss that. Anyway, we would rather not take his course than to endure the emotional exhaustion of carrying on with an instructor that disregards cultural diversity. There it is. A University of Southern California professor has been placed on leave after saying the Chinese term nage, which offended black NBA candidates. Greg Patton, a professor at the university's Marshall School of Business, was giving an online lecture about filler words in speech when he used the Chinese term. If you have a lot of ums and ers, this is culturally specific, so based on your native language. Like in China, the common word for that, that. So in China, it might be nage, nige, or nige. Nage is a common interjection word in Mandarin. However, in English, the term sounds somewhat similar to an unspeakable word. Unspeakable. Even black people saying it. Now just it being in rap, just it's like an endless feedback loop. They recorded themselves saying the N-word, so now they're just always pissed off. In an August 21st email, the MBA candidates accused the professor of pronouncing the Chinese term like the N-word approximately 5 times during the lesson, offending, quote, all of the black members of our class. I'm glad they asked every single person, too. That's very nice of them. Very, very thorough. Identifying themselves as, quote, Black MBA candidates CO 2022, the students said that they were appalled by the professor. It was confirmed that the pronunciation of this word is much different than what Professor Patton described in class, the students wrote. The word is most commonly used with a pause between syllables. So instead of nage, it's ni-gay. It's not ni-gay, it's ni-gay. It's a good thing for the students to teach this fucking professor something, because I don't even know why they're in school. They don't need to learn Mandarin. They already know. Give them their fucking diploma. You know, the very fact that they're not teaching this class is just another example of the prevalent anti-black sentiment that is in our country and worldwide. I mean, I hope they never see this article. It'll break their little hearts. So, be careful out there, chat. You don't want to be ruffling too many feathers, saying too many wrong things. Now, here's just another article I saw of from News One staff. I've never heard of News One before. Video shows white driver. They have to mention he's white, but you'll see why. Spit on Minneapolis cops without being shot or arrested, implying he probably should have been shot, right? This is also why we kneel. This is why we kneel. No, you kneel because you're a bunch of mental prisoners. Because you aren't a human being. You're a fucking automaton that does whatever the people around you do. You don't think for yourself. You kneel because you have no spine, because you have no agency, you have no sense of self, you have no soul. That's why you kneel. And also probably a humiliation fetish, if I could guess. If I were to just, psychologically profile this guy, the person who wrote this, just based on that fucking comment, that's what I would take away from it. Is he's the type of guy that wants to get on his knees while somebody comes and fucks his wife. In an undeniable example of the apparent double standard along racial lines when it comes to law enforcement, they have to justify it, but they're really just calling for the guy to get shot. A viral video showed a white driver angrily confronting cops and spit on one of the officers without even so much as receiving a ticket, let alone the kind of police brutality seemingly reversed for black and brown people. Let's check this out. Let's give it a look. Let's see if this works this time. Are we sure that guy's white? That guy doesn't look white to me. Holy mother of God, they don't even link to the video. The hyperlink didn't lead it. Anyway, it was a broken link. Here we go. In here, attorney. Good to know that an attorney, trial lawyer for justice, civil rights advocate, founder of national law firm Ben Crump. What a name. He says this on August 31st. White privilege is talking to cops without fearing for your life. This white man got out of his car in officers' faces and they told him to, quote, get in the car and go. He drove away without a scratch. Stark contrast to what we've seen happen with black men and women. Just more of this bullshit, just God forbid you be a decent not to say that there aren't bad interactions with police, but that it's a little of both. There's going to be everything across the board. I would like a little bit more of a classic 1950s beat cop, honestly. Everyone knows each other, nice, tightly knit community, but we don't have that sort of thing anymore. Now we have a police state. Now we have a police state that's going to become more draconian because all of the people who are demanding change aren't very aren't very articulate with how they want change. Here's an example. Civil forfeiture laws. They're bullshit. Eminent domain. Bullshit. A lot of the thing, affirmative action's a good example. They should be trying to get rid of that because it discriminates against Asians and East Indian citizens. So it's, why not say, hey, we want a new internal investigation system. Anything. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just brainstorming. But you'll notice that these assholes never even have one idea. Oh, by the way, I did nerf those bosses so you guys can get your points.
So mad.
There we go. Me too, buddy. Me too. Alright. We'll move on here. McDonald's, despite what you've heard, our burgers decompose. Mickey D's talks moldy burgers and what may be a response to a viral TikTok video. Let's find the, Look closely. Okay, here we go. Let's start here. The video posted by this user has more than 500,000 likes, which was likely more than enough to bring in McDonald's attention. CNET reached out to McDonald's. In the right environment, our burgers, like most other food... This is such a funny thing to read out loud. In the right environment, our burgers, like most other foods, could decompose. Not would decompose. Or should. Could. Possibly. Maybe. It might. Who knows, folks? In the right setting, stars are aligned, a McDonald's burger can actually decompose. Look closely. The burgers you are seeing are likely dried out and dehydrated, and by no means the same as the day they were purchased, McDonald's noted. The company said it doesn't use preservatives or fillers in its beef patties. 100% real beef, real ground beef. Our burgers could decompose. All right, and how about the story of the young woman that could, well, maybe not so young anymore. White U.S. professor Jessica Krug admits she has pretended to be black for years. Now, if you just go ahead and check out her page here over on Wikipedia. Growing up in Kansas City and later attending the University of Kansas as a white Jewish woman in her September 2020 post, Krug said she had been battling some unaddressed mental health demons for my entire life. So this white U.S. professor pretending to be black. Now, I know you're thinking, she doesn't look very black there. How about now? How black does she look now? Huh? Look at that. That's Robert Downey Jr. levels of just tasteful blackface. That's tasteful blackface. Shit is right. I did see that, Missy. See, I need to add, it's true. It's all true. So this article from The Guardian came out. They, of course, oh my God, we need to be outraged. More division, more hysteria, more click-driven bullshit. But I came across a series of articles under the same topic. Whites can be black if they wish, says a lecturers' union. This is November 2019. People should be allowed to identify as black no matter what color they are born, a lecturers' union has said. The University and College Union, UCU, which represents more than 100,000 university lecturers and staff, set out its position on whether people should be able to self-identify as different races or genders. Let's see. In the paper, UCU position on trans inclusion, it stated, The UCU has a long history of enabling members to self-identify, whether that is being black, disabled, LGBT, or woman. The union's stance was criticized by some. Let's see, I want to hear more from Mr. Lennon here. 53, who was born in London and whose parents are Irish, won a place on a 2-year Arts Council-funded scheme after leading a black theater company accepted his claim to be of mixed heritage. Trevor Phillips, the former chairman of the Commission for Racial Equality, said allowing people to self-identify their race meant members of ethnic minority communities lost out.
I win, they fucking lose.
He certainly turned out to be the winner in this scenario, that's for sure. There's another article on BBC News, not very thorough. They have the video here, but I don't really care to watch it. Anthony, and then his middle name is now, I guess, his African name. Anthony Lennon, actor on accusations of faking being mixed race, hit the headlines in November when he was accepted onto the scheme aimed at helping people in the black and minority ethnic community get into theater. The actor and director's parents are white, but he says he has experienced much of the same racism and struggles many people of color have, and identifies as being of mixed heritage. He says the criticism he has faced led him to contemplate suicide. Rip, buddy. Rip. Where are we at here? 40 minutes? Perfect. Here's another one. And then a picture of Ali G. But, anyway, anyone should be allowed to identify as black regardless of their skin color. Monday, November 18th, 2019. Same topic, but another article on that. We'll move on to our next topic here. Wear a mask while having sex, Canada's top doctor suggests. Stop kissing and consider wearing a mask when having sex to prevent yourself from catching the beer flu. According to Canada's chief medical officer, that is how we are going to save ourselves. Dr. Teresa Tam said in a statement that there is little chance of catching COVID-19 from semen or vaginal fluid, but sexual activity with new partners does increase the risk of contracting the coronavirus, particularly if there is close contact like kissing. So really, they just want to make, you know, if I'm going to just give you my initial take, it's like they just want you to pretend that everything's about it, like romance should just be as soulless as just unintimate sex. Stop kissing. Avoid face-to-face closeness. Wear a mask that covers your mouth and nose, and monitor yourself and your partner for symptoms ahead of any sexual activity. Oh, something else, man. People they really are the worst. Call a Karen company wants to pay hypercritical Karens $65 an hour to review products. There's a job we could, if they say if you get a job doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. You don't actually need to be Karen, blah, 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 blah. So according to the job listing, the right Karen will be initially contracted to 3 months employment with the view to extend if the service is popular. We are recruiting a woman to write 3 honest reviews a week for our website, as well as the voice and authority behind our Call a Karen service, which will see potential customers call for advice and recommendation on products. Probably for like a character on a show, it sounds like. You can apply here. It's nice of them to leave that. Closing date for applications is Monday, August 31st. So unfortunately, it is past that date. But this is something to look forward to, folks. But here, speaking of job listings, hair salon had to remove job ad for a happy stylist because it is discriminatory against unhappy people. Well, that's unhappy. A hair salon says it was told by its job center, or a job center, that it couldn't run an advertisement recruiting a happy stylist because the word is discriminatory against unhappy people. Allison Birch listed a job ad looking for a part-time qualified hairdresser at her AJ's unisex hair salon in Stroud, England. Oh, that explains a lot. The position called for someone with 5 years experience of working in a salon who is confident in barbering as well as all aspects of hairdressing. This is a busy, friendly, small salon, so only happy, friendly stylists need apply. But on Wednesday, Birch says she received a call from her local job center informing her that they could not run her ad because the word happy is considered discriminatory. Birch claims the job center told her that the advertisement may make some people feel that they can't apply if they don't consider themselves to be a happy person.
I am so mad!
So Richard Spencer, they already threw his application out, as you can tell by his reaction. According to Birch, he then asked, should we change the word in case somebody thinks that they can't apply for the job because they're not a happy person? Was I being a bit sensitive and it was the word happy discriminative, or was the whole thing, has the whole world gone mad? I guess that's really all there is to it. You can't ask for a happy applicant, because you're going to have to find the most depressed person that applies and hire them. Oh man. I'm sure they're going after Hooters for their discrimination, right? Right, or Starbucks. They're gonna enforce all of the big businesses to abide by this rules, right? Or these rules, right? Yeah, fat chance. Here's another one. Anorexic woman told she's not thin enough for treatment. A Grimsby woman who suffers from anorexia was denied treatment for the eating disorder for not being thin enough. Let's see here. This is the woman in question. An anorexic woman from Grimsby says she was denied treatment for her eating disorder because she was, quote, not thin enough. That's like such a good thing to say to somebody with anorexia or like an eating disorder. Chelsea Salt, oh, that is great. Her last name is Salt, 27, has been battling anorexia for 7 years. Okay, I don't NHS guidelines state adult patients with a BMI under 17 under 17 and a half are diagnosed as being anorexic, but Miss Salt has a BMI of 20. However, according to the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, NICE, people with anorexia can have a BMI higher or lower than average, and BMI is just one of the 14 signs that can indicate an eating disorder. Speaking to the BBC, Chelsea said, the clinic said that you won't get in because your BMI is too high. It makes me feel like a fraud. You'll start questioning yourself, like maybe there's nothing wrong with me, and it makes it harder to move forward. She also said using BMI to diagnose anorexia gave the wrong message to those seeking help. And then some facts about anorexia. Well, I mean, if you went to the lengths of talking to these journalists and doing this interview, surely you're motivated enough to be able to get the help yourself without the requirement of a doctor. Like, what are they going to tell you, to eat more? You know what I mean? Like, what are you expecting them to do for you? I don't... You already recognize that there's a problem and you know what the problem is. So at this point, what's the issue? But we'll move on to something else. Breaking news. Fecal transplant successfully treats alcoholism. What? Like literally, what? Here, let's watch this video. I feel like they could probably explain this better than I could reading out this article, and you know, might just break things up a bit. Copy the wrong. It's not poo. Hold on, chat. I'm going to here. I'll do that when I play the video.
They're donor samples for potential patients.
An ordinary day in Mary Greeley Medical Center's laboratory, producing some extraordinary relief for very sick patients. It's happening through the healing power of poop.
It turns out there are millions of different species of good bacteria that live in our colons. In fact, just an enormous number of different species. So the only way really to get all those species is actually to take the sample from somebody else. We kind of process it, get rid of.
Yeah. I don't know why it fucking... Hold on a second. I had adjusted that before the stream, by the way. There we go. I'll rewind it. All right. You got me.
I'm so mad.
They're donor samples for potential patients.
An ordinary day in Mary Greeley Medical Center's laboratory, producing some extraordinary relief for very sick patients. It's happening through the healing power of poop.
It turns out there are millions of different species of good bacteria that live in our colons. In fact, just an enormous number of different species. So the only way really to get all those species is actually to take the sample from somebody else. We kind of process it, get rid of a lot of the fecal material, and just leave the bacteria behind, and that's what we transplant into the colon.
That's right, transplanting poo to cure human disease. Icky or not, it's quick, fairly inexpensive, and has a 90% success rate for treating patients with C. diff, a nasty bacteria causing severe, frequent diarrhea. A disease which has grown exponentially over the past 10 years, with related deaths increasing too.
It's hard to kill with regular antibiotics. So the result is that you kill everything else but C. diff, and it actually outgrows, and you end up with a boatload of C. diff in your gut.
Once you're sick with C. diff, you're pretty sick, and anything that will make it go away is a good thing. And this works so quickly, within a day or two, that people are pretty grateful to get this.
We put the fecal sample in here.
Sherry Olson, who heads up the microbiology section of
I just wanted to stop for a second and point out that these are the people we're supposed to trust and not question ever. People with fucking lab coats and goggles playing with shit. Like, we're not talking about, like, okay, we're measuring we're taking inventory of different things so we can investigate how the digestive tract works. Nothing like that. No, they're like, well, maybe we can transfer poop from one person to the other, like some. Thank you, Worski, for really communicating how I feel as a human being.
Cocksucker!
Yeah, I mean, it's just this is what our taxes pay for, folks. And this is an older video, so they probably, never discovered anything and were just playing with their shit in the corner with all the validation of a bullshit fucking medical degree on the wall, but they're still just playing with shit in the corner like a person with schizophrenia. All right, I'll let this continue out.
Mary Greeley's laboratory prepares the samples, given most often through an enema. Mary Greeley uses just one person, a fecal donor, because finding a different healthy donor for each patient can take time and cost thousands of dollars due to the amount of testing involved.
We thought that if we could get a single donor and then have that donor donate over and over again and then freeze the donations, then when a patient was sick with C. diff, we could simply take the donation out of the freezer, defrost it, and then give it to the patient as an enema. And that would be much quicker and would still be very safe, and it would be much more efficient.
Mary Greeley could be one of the few hospitals in the country using this method for this innovative treatment. Please learn more on our website, www.mgmc.org/GI.
The part about having a donor just made me laugh. Like, they just have a dude that a guy they call. Hey, can you have Gary come in? Yeah, we need him to just shit again. Has he been eating? Like, is he going to be able to just unleash the fucking Kraken? Why the fuck did I join at this moment? I put this in here as a funny story, but now I'm just appalled and just irritating. He's the expert. He's the fucking poo guy. Do you think so? This is science, folks. How are we going to question science? Question the experts? What kind of person would I be to question a person who spends their day playing with shit, freezing shit, transferring shit from one person to the other? I apologize for my frequent use of vulgar language, but I mean, this is outrageous. Disgusting is absolutely right. You think one time maybe a guy had a peanut allergy, it just didn't work out? This shit is unreal. That's one way of putting it. These are the medical experts we can't question. And state-sponsored schizophrenia. These people are just... I don't even know. I think that I have a comment. I'm flabbergasted. I'm beside myself. It's outrageous, folks. But you know what else is outrageous? Is a man with a jetpack flying at 3,000 feet near LAX. The FBI is searching for a man, perhaps the new D.B. Cooper. Guy in a jetpack. I wish there was a video of it. The sighting was first reported by an inbound American Airlines pilot around 6:35 p.m. on Sunday, according to the Federal Aviation Administration and an air traffic control recording. The incident remains under investigation by federal authorities. Tower American 1997, or 1997, we just passed a guy in a jetpack, the American Airlines pilot reported to the control tower. The tower operator can then be heard asking the pilot in a surprised tone whether the person in the jetpack is to the right or the left of the plane. Off the left side, at maybe 300 yards or so, about our altitude, the pilot responded. Moments later, a Southwest Airlines pilot contacted air traffic control and made a similar report. We just saw a guy pass us in a jetpack. And here's the Twitter post by the FBI Los Angeles Department. The FBI continues to investigate reports of a jetpack near LAX on August 30th. Anyone with info about activity on or above the ground at the location depicted here should call the FBI. The FBI takes seriously events that threaten U.S. airspace and investigates alleged violations. You know, it's just a guy with a fucking jetpack, for fuck's sake. Don't you guys have, like, some domestic terrorists to go create and then arrest to justify your existence? What the fuck are you doing complaining about a guy who's trying to innovate humankind, elevate American production by bringing us a fucking jetpack? This kind of irritates me a little bit. Isn't there somebody somewhere that you could be trying to sell a sawed-off shotgun or trying to get them to sell? I fucked it up. In any case, don't you have some people to entrap and radicalize so you can try to make it seem as though the world's a shittier place than it is, so you can say, hey, we need more of your tax dollars to just so that way we can get a raise. You know, Bob needs a new desk. So unfortunately, I haven't seen any developments on this. Maybe there have been. This was a few days ago. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find something. Jetpack. Doesn't look like there's anything new. Mystery jetpack man flying by commercial pilots at LAX may have been a mannequin on a drone. Oh, yeah. Now that's a development, chat. I'll bring that up in a second. It was about to autoplay a video, so we'll have the archive up here in a moment. Who's George Jetson? Yeah. Boy, Elroy. While I wait for that to archive. Always lost on nothing else with $5. Donation 197. Good to have you back, Wild Smile. Thank you. Good to be back. Good to be back. Had a good couple days at work. Real busy. It was a good day though. It was really, really hot out. Not a fan of the heat. I'm really looking forward to when the leaves fall, when autumn is officially here. That smell in the air of, I don't know, just the season of autumn. It's my favorite time of year. I'm really looking forward to it. Another month or so, maybe. How's Noodle? She's great. I bought like a micro drone, like a tiny drone, to try to like maybe get her to move a little bit, play with her, so she can exercise. And it's a piece of shit, but it worked for a minute. So I'll probably try to get a new one. But to be fair, you get what you pay for, and this thing was crap. But yeah, thank you for $5, man. Much appreciated. But let's go ahead and switch over to this. Mystery jetpack man flying by commercial pilots at LAX may have been a mannequin on a drone. Oh, let's see. So a person who has a jetpack that's known as having a jetpack said, "It wasn't me." Shaggy defense. We may never know. So they don't even know. They're just speculating at this point that it might be a mannequin on a drone. It was a kid flying a kite. Did you not see the banner drop on the A95 in LA? I did not. To be fair, I missed a lot of shit. So. Oh yeah, speaking of fires, I do have an article brought up for that. Let's see.
Look up and see a face like mine looking down at them.
Eternally. If you want a look at the future of humanity, imagine Richard Spencer's face looking down at you for eternity. At least 5 people killed in Northern California wildfires. Now, there have been a lot of these. Matter of fact, what I could do. We're going to get you that world, buddy. King of Israel, Richard Spencer. Doesn't that sound nice? King Dick. Now, let's see. California Fire Map 2020. Now, these fires are visible from outer space because of how big and absolutely batshit it's gotten. Let's see if I can find the one I saw before stream started. Fire space. So you can't see like the fires, but you can see the smoke from the fires. Open image. There we go. Be able to see that there. Yeah, the air quality is absolute shit. I'll say that. But wouldn't you know it? California fire caused by explosive at a gender reveal party. This is in San Bernardino. El Dorado blaze, which has burned 7,000 acres, was caused by a smoke-generating pyrotechnic device, fire department says. Now, considering, it's just so weird how many of these we have every year. Like, it doesn't feel genuine. You know what I mean? These don't... Why don't we have fires like this in any other state? Like, what is it? What is it that's specific about California that causes this to happen every single year?
Get fucked! Get fucked!
You have to think. is this a massive insurance scam? Like, think of it like this. If somebody had a business, right? And every year their businesses kept burning down, you would start to think, is there a pattern? Or there is a pattern, but is this pattern indicative of like a scheme? It just seems like something's off to me. Pyrotechnic device at a gender reveal party. Let's see what else we got here. White House tells federal agencies to cancel divisive racial sensitivity trading. According to the article on The Hill, the White House Office of Management and Budget has reportedly directed federal agencies to cancel employee racial sensitivity training that may be divisive and un-American. A memo obtained by the Washington Post, okay, so you know you can trust it, instructs federal agencies to cancel contracts that teach employees America is a, quote, inherently racist or evil country. And I love, like, they're basically complaining about it. Even though that seems perfectly fair, doesn't it?
I am so mad.
You'd be surprised, Saipaw, if that could be said about just about everybody across the nation, in my personal opinion. I think there's something to this. I think I'm right. I think that somebody's making some money off of this. That's what I think. Is it willful neglect? Is it intentional? Who knows? But somebody somewhere is making some money off of this. And that's just the feeling I got. Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of, there isn't much to look at with them. Just funny little headlines I came across over the last week. Gaston school board candidate stands by calling a black mayor a monkey. A candidate for the Gaston County Board of Education responded to controversial posts he recently shared to his Facebook. Gastonia resident Jim England joins two others in running against Dot Guthrie, who has served the Gastonia Township on the school board since 2013. Over the summer, England reposted several questionable photos. On one occasion, England shared an altered photo of Lori Lightfoot, the first black female mayor of Chicago, which criticized Lightfoot over the high crime rate in Chicago. I am a real American. See, I love how they have to make this Lori Lightfoot person seem amazing. Like, oh, she's the first black female mayor of Chicago, so clearly she's great. Just on that alone. England reposted the meme and wrote, "Looks like a dumb monkey." Well, I mean, we have to take a peek now that he said so. And look, a person can look like a monkey, but it not be because they're black. So I'm not commenting on whether or not I think that, because that's in America. You're not allowed to say that. Look, the founding fathers, the Sons of Liberty, never envisioned a world where somebody might compare someone to an animal. So we just have to walk it back. So I wouldn't comment. I would never say that she doesn't or does look like a monkey. We're not allowed as Americans to say that. So I will say she's not very pleasing on the eyes. For some reason, all of these politicians look like they literally part with their soul to get this job. Like, they all look hideous across the board. White, black, Mexican, Asian. Every politician out there, they look like a fucking ghoul. And it has nothing to do with their race. It's like something about this profession just brings out the absolute parasites of the fucking world. I mean, just look at Nancy Pelosi. Nancy, is it okay? Can we say Nancy Pelosi looks like a monkey? Are we allowed? I mean, because she does, and she's white, right? I mean, look at it. Tell me this doesn't look like a character from Planet of the fucking Apes. You look me dead in the eye, and you tell me that this does not look like a character from Planet of the Apes. Looks like Skeletor. Yeah, it does look like Skeletor. And it is not because she's white that she looks like a monkey. She's just such a hideous fucking cunt that she looks like a human being that had to put on so much makeup and so many prosthetics just to try to look like she almost looks human. I mean, look, I don't know what to say, so... You know, maybe this guy, this Jim England, he's entitled to his opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions. Who gives a shit? But of course, you know, we're not allowed to have opinions in America. You can only criticize people as long as they're pale complected. There she is. What a lady. What a lady. What a gal. You know, I wouldn't rip on this person so much if they weren't such a soulless fucking human being that sold out the people she supposedly represents. You know, it would be amazing if you spent half the time trying to serve your people that you spend complaining about fucking Trump doing anything. Let's put her in chart. You know what? It's crazy enough to work. That's crazy enough to work, man. Who knows? But now we're having 12-year-olds suspended over toy gun scene in virtual class. Now that we're streaming going to school. We're doing live streaming all the way to school. Now it's, if you have a toy gun in your room, that's practically bringing a gun to school. Whoa there. I bet you worship Dylan Roof or something, right? 12-year-old boy has been suspended for having a toy gun he never brought to school. Isaiah Elliott attends Ground Mountain, a K-8 grade school in the Widefield District number 3 just south of Colorado Springs. On Thursday, August 27th, the 7th grader was attending an online art class when the teacher saw Isaiah flash a toy gun across his computer screen. The toy in question is a neon green and black handgun with an orange tip and the words Zombie Hunter printed on the side. My heart just continues to fucking break. Yeah, no. So these trees, by the way, the people who don't know, in California, this is probably when I was. Is there a reason that these particular trees, and it's probably this actually, this was happening in Paradise. This is why it was a problem. The trees get so hot, like they're dry on the outside, but then the sap boils, and then if enough heat is generated, it can cause the entire tree to just explode from the inside. Pretty crazy. Upcoming alarm. Go ahead. All right, caught up. Are good. Oh man, and he was African American too, I guess. Curtis Elliott, yeah, that sounds about right. It was really frightening and upsetting for me as a parent, especially as a parent of an African American young man, especially given what's going on in our country right now, said Isaiah's father, Curtis Elliott, in an exclusive interview with Fox 31. They had to bring up he was black. It's just so good. They aren't logging out the dead trees. Oh, okay, that was what you were sending me. Okay. I kind of glanced over it for a second. I didn't really look at it very thoroughly. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like I said, it almost seems intentional, right? Intentionally neglectful in order to collect a little bit of that insurance money. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Stranger things have happened, though. So the Pope has come out and said that gossip is, quote, a plague more awful than COVID-19. It's just gossip, folks. Stop making jokes. Ahead of the traditional Marian prayer at the Angelus, Pope Francis reflected on the day's gospel in which Jesus speaks about fraternal correction. Let's see here. Gossip hurts the community. The Pope went on to consider what happens when we choose to gossip about a member of the community rather than follow the path of fraternal correction. When we see a brother or sister make a mistake or with a defect, the first thing we do is to tell others about it. We gossip. Man, maybe you gossip, bud. Okay, maybe we all do. Please, brothers and sisters, let us make an effort not to gossip. Chatter is a plague more awful than COVID. Chatter is a plague more awful than COVID. What a fucking quote. Oh, maybe it's technically true because, COVID isn't what they said it was. He doesn't want people speculating. He doesn't want people asking questions. Oh, how sad. But a little story about opportunity. A black man was detained while jogging. No joke, chat. While jogging. Get rid of some of these tabs. He was just jogging. He was literally not doing anything wrong. A black man jogging in the predominantly white neighborhood in Deltona, Florida last month found himself handcuffed and detained when police said he matched the description of a suspect in a nearby burglary. On August 27th, Volusia County Sheriff's officers were on the lookout for a man suspected of stealing a weed eater / leaf blower from a shed behind a home, according to a sheriff's report on the incident. One deputy came upon a 28-year-old Joseph Griffin who was jogging and who matched the description of the burglary suspect. Hey, buddy, you're not in trouble or anything. There's a burglary that happened. You kind of fit the description, an officer is heard saying on body camera footage. Let me make sure that you're not him. Griffin looks surprised when he responds saying, really? And says he has his ID. As Griffin pulls out his ID, the officer points to Griffin's attire and says, literally, they said white tank top, black shorts, and they said that you had a beard. So I'm not saying it's you, but it was a black male. Again, not saying it's you, buddy. The officer steps back and radios his colleagues with Griffin, or while Griffin is seen on body cam footage repeatedly looking down at his phone. He started a Facebook Live and was recording the encounter. In what appears to be an edited video of the Facebook Live posted on Griffin's Facebook timeline, he's seen breathing heavily, and the officer can be heard telling him, listen, just bear with me, okay? Because you fit the description. I'm not saying you're guilty. Griffin responds saying, I know, and then looks at the Facebook live stream. But my sergeant is telling me to detain you. That's my sergeant. Holding up his phone higher, Griffin says, I just had a daughter born 2 days ago, so just let me have this on live. It's live, the officer asks. On the officer's body cam video, he says, do you mind setting it down here, pointing to the ground. Griffin then attempts to put the phone on the ground when the officer interrupts him and says that he'll put it on the ground for him. For now, I'm going to detain you, but you're not under arrest. I'm detaining you right now because you fit the description. Something happens to me, you better raise hell, Griffin says to Facebook. By the way, I'm live too. I even have a recording, the officer says, referring to his body cam footage. Griffin was eventually released once officers cleared him of any involvement in the crime. He apparently followed orders and everything went just fine. Crazy, right? Police ultimately determined that Griffin was detained in error, and the real burglary suspect was later identified and arrested. But VSO says this case may yet yield a positive outcome. We knew we were going to get beat up, criticized a bit because there were several officers there. It never looks good. But then I was shown the body camera video. I watched the video. Mr. Griffin was great with my deputies. and my deputies were extremely professional. I called each and every one of them to thank them for their professionalism. I called Mr. Griffin, too, and thanked him for how he handled the situation. Just, really, just stop. Let's stop for a second, chat. Think about what we're reading here. This motherfucker had sent out letters, thanked all these officers, called up the guy to thank him for following simple fucking instructions. This is far worse than it was in kindergarten, where they tell everyone that everything they did was fucking amazing. Like, you know, I'm happy that this person was able to interact with police. It's sad hearing the transcript and how demasculated the police officer sounds, although it's kind of relieving to hear a case where the cop sounds like a real cool guy, just super down to earth. Hey, buddy, I don't think it's you, but I need to detain you. It's part of my job. It's no problem. It's all good. Follow the fuck, you know. I learned that Mr. Griffin was a former military police officer. I asked if he would come in and do trainings with our entire staff. He was surprised about it and agreed. Due to COVID-19, we can only train 20 people at a time. We will start trainings early in October and keep doing it. I also offered him a job. We have 40 openings right now, but he declined that offer, saying he had a job in healthcare. Yes, I believe this is what, CNN? So of course they would love an article like this. Did they catch the real guy? They did. They did. At least according to them, they said that they had found the person and everything was good. I mean, there is a nice, like, I guess you could say heartwarming aspect of this. Guy gets detained and then they offer him a job. But the subtext of all, like, the racial elements of it, it's just, I don't know, man. All right, and this is the last one here. Didn't think I was going to get through all of those. Jelly Belly founder to give away candy factory as part of a gold ticket treasure hunt. It's fucking happening, folks. It's fucking happening. Willy goddamn Wonka. This is the timeline I asked for. I just want a golden ticket to go to Willy Wonka's factory. Nothing else matters to me. Let's bring up the actual arc. We can just watch the little video they have here. Oh, it's in Fairfield too. This might actually be doable. Turn that down there. I'll even mute it while we have to watch this stupid fucking commercial. They're going to make us watch a minute ad. I don't know. I'm just looking for an opportunity. Oh, it's going to... All right. So if it makes me watch this one more time after this, we're moving on.
Hidden cash? Well, now a different kind of treasure hunt could be the next big craze. This time, the founder of Jelly Belly Beans is launching a series of golden ticket treasure hunts. Think Willy Wonka with a bit of a twist. David Klein announced the contest in a video message online saying the big winner will walk away with the keys to their very own candy factory. Thousands of dollars in prizes are also up for grabs. The golden tickets are being hidden in places throughout the U.S. Of course, there's a catch. It's not free. Tickets to join the hunt and to receive crucial clues cost $50.
Of course it does. Because of course it does. Never mind. Yeah, scam is exactly right. Scam. Yeah, dream fucking shattered, chat.
Please.
I immediately, like, heart just sank into my chest. No Willy Wonka future for me. I wanted the Willy Wonka ending. The one where I get the factory. What a fucking outrage, man. Yeah, fuck this timeline. Fuck this timeline's right. Hold on. I know how to express myself. It'll just take a second here.
I am so mad.
It's fucking bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. You gotta blow Wonka anyway? Yeah, alright, pass. Yeah.
It's not true.
It is true.
Cocksucker.
Oh, I missed you guys. I really did. Are you enjoying the smoky skies of California? Oh boy, am I. Oh boy. Am I fucking enjoying the air quality over here right now. Dude, it looks like, you know, the footage you see of Vietnam, the where like the horizons just got like a layer of fog of war, like I'm playing it, like I'm living in a Nintendo 64 game. You can barely see a mile down the horizon. It's absolute shit. Yeah, no, it's pretty fucked. That's why, to me, it's so weird. And ashes all over my truck. Yeah, same. Except I don't have a truck, but a vehicle, rather. About 4 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, we can do that. All right, so I got a DM from Davey just now, so we'll do the Crockpot today at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Gives me time to go eat some food and hang out for a little bit. So, yeah, we'll do the Crockpot. Let me go ahead and drop the link. So, first of all, here's a link to the Discord we use for that. Share articles, things like that. If Discord's your thing, you can find it at the link provided right there. Then we also have the channel that we do the stream for the Midnight Crockpot. 4 p.m. Pacific time. I'll get everything set up here in a few. That's the channel you can find us on here in a few hours. And then, of course, you can find us on both iTunes and Spotify. Work? So the Spotify and the iTunes versions are chopped up a little bit. I cut out the intro, the intermission, and the outro. So they'll be a little bit shorter, and I do a few other things like audio tweaks and things like that. But if that's your thing, follow us there. But with all of that, it's been a minute since I've been streaming, and so it's good to be back. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for your patience, persistence. Good to see all of you again. And real quick, for a finish up here. So disappointed in Jelly Belly. Like, what the hell is that Jelly Belly? What a move. What? Okay, hold on. God damn it. Sorry. The YouTube, or not YouTube, Twitter just being unnecessarily difficult. Dirty D disagrees with $1. I made a music video for Kyle. Now, I've become very, very, what's the word? Picky with playing stuff.
We're protecting.
Mostly because the last stream I did, I played a video that was part of a movie. I think something from Scary Movie kind of irritated me. I wanted to share this with you before I went, though, because this video just came out.
It's not true.
A lot of Pennsylvanians are seeing them because there's a lot of ads out there right now. They would say that you want to defund the police, and it seems to be trying to frighten some folks. Can you set the record straight on that?
I not only don't want to defund the police, I'm the one calling for $300 million more for local police, for community policing. I also think we should add social workers and psychologists help police on 911 calls. The only person calling to defund the police is Donald Trump. Look at his budget. He calls for cutting police funding for state and local help by $400 million. Once again, he's pathological.
The only person calling for the abolition of the police is Donald Trump. Dude, I'm pretty sure I saw your ass. Never mind. It's not even worth it. Not even fucking worth it. And then there was $1.99 from Radio Ruin. Check DMs. Yeah, so or not DMs, Streamlabs. So yeah, I'll go ahead and play this here. I'll copy that over. No joke though, this kid. I loved. Didn't you love how fucking Stephen Bonnell II, fucking Destiny, had the based take out of all of these fucking pricks on the internet? Everyone else like, this kid's a piece of shit. Even people who would normally cheer this guy on, and Destiny's like, that guy was a fucking operator. And he was right. This is why I think he has a valid case of self-defense. And if it's not a valid case of self-defense, I think he was well within his rights, even if the law doesn't agree with me, okay? That dude waited more than a second or two longer to pull that trigger, he'd be fucking dead right now. He exercised probably more restraint than he should have. He did nothing wrong. Trying to avoid those copyright claims, man, so I don't have to audio edit shit out. It does have a bit of a funny walk to it. He does have a funny walk, I'll say that. Then again, we don't exactly get a lot of time. We don't exactly get a lot of time with practicing how to properly and comfortably wear a firearm over our shoulder, you know? This is America 2020. Good song, though, by the way. Tribe was mad their low T members were proven to be unable to win fights. Not funny. Oh, did you guys see? I'm sure you guys did see. Fucking so perfect. Russia guy has a gun drawn on you. You got exactly what you deserved. Absolute slick lad. But no, so I think it was in Portland. We'll probably talk about this on the Crockpot tonight, actually. So, Vice News. I'm jumping ahead. There was a guy that just murdered a dude out in the street in cold blood. You know, claiming he was a Nazi or whatever, right? So anyway, the guy that allegedly killed that guy in self-defense mysteriously does an interview with Vice News, and then Vice News, I think, probably fed that information to the police, rightfully so. Fuck that guy. And well, he basically said, "You'll never take me alive," and they said, "Okay." About says it. So thankfully, we won't have that piece of shit clogging up the justice system. Although I have to admit, the prospect of letting this guy rot in a cell, in a place where he will not succeed or excel at all, does sound rather. That's the word I'm looking for. Tasteful. Caught about 50 rounds. Ooh. Not a good time. Not a good time to be that guy. The official story is that the sister turned him in. Based sister. Et tu, sister. All right. I think I'm gonna wrap up. I'll get things ready for the Crockpot here. I don't know. Here shortly, I'll get the reminder out and all of that. And here's the link to the channel. So I'll go ahead and run those sweet credits. Once it loads the question, or once it loads the page again. Man, I'm getting all my arms mixed up here. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the show tonight, or this afternoon, this morning rather. Just kind of wanted to do something random, but like I said, I just had like 20 tabs that I just wanted to get rid of. So if I do a stream about it, then I can just get rid of it and move on. So, working, everything good, perfect. Midnight in the morning. So, some of you I'll see later on the Midnight Crockpot, which is more of the afternoon Crockpot. The early evening Crockpot, I don't know. But some of you I'll see later there. To the rest of you that I'll see some other time, I'll see you on that some other time. Take care of yourselves. Have a fun and safe weekend. Stay safe out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And as I consistently have said over the last few years, be yourself, because you might find yourself by yourself, and anybody can learn from their own mistakes. But it takes a wise lad like yourself to learn from the mistakes made by others. See you later, everybody.